A low-angle shot of green grass with blurred buildings and trees in the background. The scene brightens. A low-angle shot of green grass with blurred buildings and trees in the background. Cars drive on a street. Michael Friedlander, a man with glasses and a suit, stands in a brightly lit hallway. Text appears. Michael Friedlander, Ph.D., Executive Director, Fralin Biomedical Research Institute, Vice President for Health Sciences, Virginia Tech.
Hi, I'm Mike Friedlander, the Executive Director of the Fralin Biomedical Research Institute at Virginia Tech Carilion.
A woman and a young girl play with a toy on a couch.
This is one of the most incredible places in the world to do cross-disciplinary research, converging on answering some of the most important problems and challenges facing humankind today in health.
A man in a plaid shirt sits at a computer, looking at brain scans on the screen. A person in blue gloves uses tweezers to manipulate small samples in a petri dish under a light. A man in blue gloves uses a pipette to transfer liquid in a lab. Two people in lab coats work in a clean room with specialized equipment. Robert Gordy, a man in a white lab coat and glasses, sits in a lab with a microscope and computer. Text appears. Robert Gordy, Ph.D., Director, Center for Heart and Reparative Medicine Research.
We want to understand the fundamental mechanisms of how propagation of electrical activation occurs in cardiac muscle.
A man in a white lab coat works at a computer displaying colorful cellular images. Shannon Ferris, a woman with long curly hair, sits in a lab. Text appears. Shannon Ferris, Ph.D., Assistant Professor, Fralin Biomedical Research Institute.
So we're really interested in understanding how the individual connections between neurons are changed or remodeled during learning.
Close-up of microscopic images showing colorful neuron connections. Rachana Devon Sumaya, a woman in a white lab coat, speaks in a lab. Text appears. Rachana Devan Samaya, graduate student, Translational Biology, Medicine and Health.
I'm studying a region in the brain called lateral geniculate nucleus.
A man views microscopic images of cells on a computer screen.
It's part of visual thalamus and it's one of the first places to receive inputs from the retina.
Michael Fox, a man in a blue plaid shirt and glasses, sits in a lab. Text appears. Michael Fox, Ph.D., Director, Center for Neurobiology Research.
I'm studying very early brain development, trying to understand the cellular and molecular mechanisms that allow our brains to wire properly.
A man uses a microscope, with the view from the microscope displayed on a monitor. A woman wearing a virtual reality headset plays a game with a controller, while another woman watches. A virtual reality view of a 3D brain scan with interactive elements. A man speaks to a group of people at a conference table. A woman in a lab coat uses a pipette over a red bucket of ice.
We use a strategic, multidisciplinary approach to converge on problems from many directions at once.
Three people sit on the floor, one holding a blue sphere and another demonstrating with a small object. Michael Friedlander walks through a lab, gesturing as he speaks.
This allows our investigators to tackle and solve some of the most challenging problems in the biomedical sciences.
A person in blue gloves manipulates tissue samples in a petri dish. A woman in a lab coat uses a pipette under a fume hood. A man in blue gloves uses a microscope.
Indicative of that success is the fact that our investigators receive federally funded research grants at better than 3 times the national average rate.
A woman with a ponytail gestures while speaking to a group at a conference table. Michael Friedlander walks through a lab, gesturing as he speaks. 3 women stand on a gravel path near train tracks, talking and gesturing. A young man points to a research poster while talking to an older man.
Going to a lot of different interviews, everyone's going to say that they're collaborative and they help you write grants and they help your research program, but you could really tell that it was authentic here.
Shannon Ferris speaks in a lab. A woman presents to a group of people seated around a conference table with a projector screen showing scientific data. Craig Ramey, a man in a suit and purple tie, sits and speaks. Text appears. Craig Ramey, Ph.D., Distinguished Research Scholar of Human Development.
People who would not have thought to collaborate across certain disciplines now do it routinely.
A woman speaks to a large group of people seated on the floor in a room. Paras Patel, a man in a lab coat, speaks in a lab. Text appears. Paras Patel, graduate student, translational biology, medicine, and health.
Everyone is very willing to collaborate and share skills. So in my last 2 years, I've picked up a whole lot of skills from various different fields that I feel like a lot of people at other institutions maybe aren't able to get.
Close-up of a person in glasses and blue gloves working in a lab. A man in glasses and a gray hoodie speaks to a group of people. A man in a blue lab coat works with equipment in a lab. Sharon Ramey, a woman with blonde hair and glasses, speaks. Text appears. Sharon Ramey, PhD, research professor and distinguished research scholar.
It's bringing together some of the most improbable, highly accomplished, highly original scientists I've ever worked with.
A modern building with large glass windows and brick facades. A white car drives by. A building with pink flowering trees in the foreground.
The Fralin Biomedical Research Institute at Virginia Tech Carilion was founded in 2010.
Michael Friedlander walks down a hallway, gesturing as he speaks.
Sure, we're newer and smaller than a lot of research institutes in the world, but we're growing every day, as in evidenced by the doubling of our size with the addition of a new research building and the impact of our investigators' work on health worldwide, including receiving over $125 million in active research grants in effect today.
A modern building with large glass windows and brick facades under a blue sky. A construction site with the steel framework of a new building against a blue sky. An architectural rendering of a modern multi-story building with green roofs and surrounding landscaping. Another architectural rendering of a modern building with a glass entrance and people walking on pathways. A man in a plaid shirt smiles while talking to two people in a lab. A woman in a purple jacket wears a virtual reality headset, guided by a man. A 3D rendering of a human head with visible brain structures, outlined in green lines. Craig Ramey speaks.
I don't think I know of another place in the country that has developed as fast as this place.
A person in blue gloves places a small tube into a centrifuge. A young girl plays with small objects in a bin of beans. Close-up of hands in blue gloves manipulating a small medical device.
I just felt there was an energy and a vision about what was being built here that I very much wanted to be part of.
A magnified view through a lens shows hands manipulating a small red sample. Robert Gordy speaks. A modern building under construction with purple wrapping. A large crowd of people gathered outdoors in front of a building under construction.
The energy really makes this place unique and special, and all of the faculty here have been extremely successful, partly because of that energy, partly because of the state-of-the-art technologies, and I think an important part of it is also the leadership here, both the leadership within the Institute, but also from Virginia Tech.
A man points at a computer screen displaying colorful scientific images. Michael Fox speaks. A woman helps a young girl play with objects in a bin of beans. A young boy looks into a microscope. A man views brain scans on a computer screen. A man helps a patient onto a bed entering an MRI machine. Two people look at brain scans on a computer screen. One points to the screen. A young woman in a striped shirt presents a research poster to two men. Three men in hard hats and safety vests walk through a construction site. Three men in hard hats and safety vests walk on a gravel path near construction equipment. Shannon Farris speaks.
The leadership here does a really good job of kind of clearing the red tape so that we can really focus on research, and they're really supportive in terms of getting us equipment and the facilities in order to do really cutting-edge science here.
A woman in blue gloves uses a pipette in a lab. Close-up of a hand pointing at brain scans on a computer screen. A woman in blue gloves uses a pipette over a red bucket of ice. A modern building with curved glass facades and brick sections. The Roanoke Star, a large illuminated star structure, stands against a blue sky. Two people ride mountain bikes through a forest trail.
Roanoke, Virginia is a beautiful mountain city that offers big city amenities.
A person rides a road bike across a bridge over a river. Three men stand outdoors, reeling in fishing lines. People paddleboarding on a lake during sunset, with mountains in the background.
If you like to hike, bike, get on the water, enjoy good food, art, and festivals, and also going to work every day in an elite academic research environment, then this is the place for you.
Performers in colorful costumes dance on a stage. A person rides a bicycle on a paved trail next to a grassy area and trees. Two modern buildings with the Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine and Research Institute logo visible. A modern building with curved glass facades and pink flowering trees in the foreground. Warren Bickle, a man with glasses and a black shirt, speaks. Text appears. Warren Bickle, Ph.D., Director, Addiction Recovery Research Center.
When I got asked to be here, I thought I was being asked to be a member of the A-team.
Warren Bickle sits at a conference table with two other men and laptops.
It made me want to run harder and work more to achieve some significant ends.
5 young people stand around a counter, talking and holding coffee cups.
I really love this place because apart from having good science, the community around you is very accepting of you, not just for your scientific contributions, but for how different you are.
Rachana Devan Samaya speaks in a lab, gesturing with her hands. Microscopic images showing green and red cellular structures. A young woman in a yellow top presents a research poster to an older man. A young man in a light purple shirt and tie presents a research poster, gesturing.
Whether you're a graduate student, a postdoctoral fellow, a junior or a senior faculty member, the Fralin Biomedical Research Institute at Virginia Tech Carilion is the place to be.
A young woman in a blue shirt works with beakers and bottles in a lab. A man in glasses points to a research poster while talking to 2 young men. A young woman wearing a virtual reality headset interacts with a 3D molecular structure display. 3 men in hard hats and safety vests stand on a rooftop, one pointing into the distance. A modern building with glass and brick facades, surrounded by trees and a road with cars.
Come join us and be part of tomorrow today.